What's going on, y'all? This is a first time event, man. It's a very special event. It's IT news, man. Hit the like, subscribe to the page, do anything you could possibly do. Today we got my boy here today, man. One of my close friends, my brother. We got my friend here, Bryant Tilson, man. I'm gonna let him do like a little intro so he can tell y'all who he is. And the reason why I don't want to really go in too much. I want to just let him talk. But before I let the brother get the mic, I'm gonna say the reason why I'm sitting down and talking to regular people. I'm not talking to scholars or this or that or self-proclaimed scholars and all this stuff. I'm talking to people that really make a difference out here in this world. People that don't, sit up and study books and don't have a connection with the everyday hustle and bustle of what's going on inside the actual community. Because this is what we got to remember. I don't care how much we go in on books or knowledge or anything. If it don't relate to the actual community, those books and all those teachings means nothing to us. We got to get into the people. What's going on with these laws and effects and cause and effects? So I'm gonna let my boy brother Brian up here talk about how you doing today, man. I'm gonna let you go ahead and go in.
What's going on? What's going on, family? What's up, bro? Thank you for having me on the show.
No, man, the pleasure is all mine, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a pleasure to be here because, man, like he said, I'm just a plain person, a truck driver. You know what I mean? Just common, just like everyday folks. So you know what I mean? Like when you look at the world from a person's perspective, that's not like a big business person or a person that's not like a millionaire or billionaire or even a thousandaire. You know what I mean? The world is like a different perspective. And I think like a lot of people they might disagree with my points of view, and that's cool because like it's all for conversation. It's all for like everything's up for discussion. Like I think it's a certain way, and you think a certain way, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is that we all should always be able to come to some type of common ground, even though we have many differences. When we have our different arguments, we all, especially as our community, Black folks, we should be able to come to a common ground when we can't find equality or when we can't find, a middle point, man, that makes it so hard. And like, I hope we talk about a lot of different things. I know we are going to talk about a lot of different things, this evening, but I think a lot of it is like our political backgrounds and our religions and our ethnic groups. I think those are a lot of things that keep us like being individuals. But I'm gonna let the host of the show that does what's best, do his thing.
No. I'm happy that we going into that because I want to just jump right into it, man. How do you feel about America at this point in time? And I'm not just talking about just, Donald Trump or, the everyday America situation. I'm talking about how do you feel as an African American living in America? Do you feel as though that America is actually reaching out and actually touching you? Do you feel as though that the candidates that's running, Kamala Harris and all that, do you feel as though, I don't care if you had Boo Boo the Fool in there, do you feel as though that they'll actually be able to reach out and touch the everyday people out there? And when you come in contact with these everyday people and you talk to them about political views and stuff like that, what do you tell them? Because I know a lot of us don't even vote. You know what I mean? We're so done with the actual conversation of voting because it's not helping us. So I just want to get like a regular, not a regular person because I don't want to disrespect you like that and call you a regular person, but I just want to get a regular conversation. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to get the star-studded conversation. This brother is this with the yeah. He deep with all the knowledge. No, I'm not trying to get. I don't need all that because you know why? Yo, we could all act like we Instagram stars and all that shit, but at the end of the day, our cribs is fucked up. If I turn this camera around, my crib is fucked up. I keep it 100. You know what I mean? So how do you feel as though that America? I don't care if Hillary won. Do you feel as though they would have still helped African Americans?
That's an interesting question, and I don't want like the world like to say, man, this guy is just to one sided view. But the reason why I don't think that it doesn't matter who won, because y'all got to think about it. Okay, we've been here for 400 years, right? Now they didn't set up these constitutions and all these legalities, and they didn't set up this government a long time ago, preferably back in 1776 when they had the Statue of Liberty and they all liberated and united and all that. So we understand that they set this organization up, in this country, this business, not to really care about anybody's feelings. You know what I mean? It's not about, you know, if you, that's why I always try to say, like, I used to be one of the type of persons that I was pro-black, and I was always like about my people, and I still am pro-black. But I want the people to understand, once when you come out of your identity, because we have an identity crisis of people because what's happened to us. But once when you move past your identity, you see that it's only two classes in this world. It's the rich and then it's the poor. And the rich, half of the time, they end up in the seats of, you know, being politicians, and they end up in these hierarchy seats. They end up in these positions where, as though, you know, they're kind of like based, they're not based, excuse me, they're kind of, they construct society, what society should be. They make up the rules, you know what I mean? We vote, and they say, yeah, we vote and your vote counts. But that's what I'm saying. My grandmom didn't vote it, my great grandma didn't vote it. And before that, it was probably going back to slaves, so they didn't vote it. And what I'm trying to say is that now that we voting and we still live in the same communities that they was living in, like, how can they ever, excuse me, personally touch me? They can't ever, you know, personally, I don't feel as though that they can ever come to each community and touch people. And honestly, I don't want you to touch me in that way. The only way you can really touch me is that if you give me some type of way out of, you know, out of poverty. You give us some type of way out of.
So let me ask you a question real quick, because I don't want to get too far ahead. What? Because I had this question thrown to me a couple of days when I was on the actual show. What do you consider poor?
What do I consider poor?
Yeah. The reason why I'm saying that is because you know that when we talk about poor or whatever, they're going to try to get you at a certain position, whereas though they're going to try to say, well, what are you saying is poor? Is $35,000 worth a house poor, or is $35,000 without a house poor? Or are you saying that you here for all poor people, anybody that is not, don't have no money in the bank, don't have no car, don't have, or are you here for middle class? Are you considering middle class as being poor too? Because I understand in South America, we start breaking it down by classes, but all over the world, poor is poor. There's no such thing as middle class, lower class, and higher class. Poor is poor. And that's what we gotta understand. We are a part of a huge significant of people that actually don't have money. And this is a topic that we can save for the later, but for world conversation, yeah. What is poor to you? What is the actual meaning of poor?
Okay. See, like I would look at poor as, like, you know, any, like, the people that don't own the corporations, the people that don't run, like, the industries, the people that are basically wage slaves. Because you have people that get paid, and you have people that pay people. You see what I'm saying? You have employers and employees. So anybody that's an employee, you see what I'm saying? Like, I look at you as being poor, because the way I look at it is from, like, our way of thinking is that the people, we the people, and when I say we the people, I'm talking about all of us, not just one ethnic group, all of us that are employees, right? We the people, we should own the sugarcane fields as the people. We should own the cornfields, or the watermelon fields, or the straw. We should own those things. These you know, Tyson Farms and Hillshire, they shouldn't own these things and then mass produce these. That's where everything's going chaotic at. So, like, when I say poor people, I'm saying that anybody that's basically, you know, earning a living, that has to work for a wage, like the people that I guess some people, like my bro always say, 35,000 and, you know, living in an apartment. Yeah, that's poor. But what about the people don't even have 35,000? What about the people that's looking for a meal every day? So I'm saying the people that don't have means to production, the people that don't have the arms, you know, like, you know how in this country, you see what I'm saying? Like, we have everything. Well, the people that are rich, super rich, they have everything that they need to build these factories, and, you know, like, to get animals, and, you know, to raise it. So people that don't have those type of, you know what I mean? I don't know what you would call it. Exactly, the means to get, yo, man, that's poor people.
So let me ask you something. I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Do you feel as though that Mexicans coming over here, is it helping America? Because is you helping poor people in America or all over the world? Okay. Because you see what I'm saying? Like, people is going to say, okay, well, if you care about the poor people in America, nix the poor people in Mexico.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They're gonna say, well, we gotta pick what side of poor do you want? Do you want it to be way more better if we let people from Mexico in? You already know my standpoint on the Mexico situation. Let them in, open up the border. I don't care. You know what I mean, at this point, because America stole so much from it ain't gonna make that much noise. You can go ahead and get that. You can go ahead and get that. I ain't gonna make too much noise. Yeah, America stole so much from the war, so you can definitely see that. So do you consider them as being poor, and do you consider them as being in a better situation than we are? You know what I mean? Because I tell people that every day. You can't knock the Mexicans that's coming over here that want something, because we got stake behind a gold bar. You know what I mean? And we telling them, no, y'all gotta stay out. But half of their guns come from here. They sell drugs to get here because drugs don't move where they from. Drugs move in our country. We don't know why. So we addicted to drugs and we addicted to guns. And somehow our guns and our drugs, our guns is found over in Mexico, and they're selling the drugs to get to America so they can do better with the drugs to be pushing America, because more people buy drugs in America. So with just knowing all of them aspects of breaking it down, is it the Mexicans' fault for wanting to come here? Is it, I mean, Latinos' fault for wanting to come here? Because this is a big issue that's going on right now. They saying we should shut the border to save the poor in America. Because if we open up the border, it's going to hurt the poor people in America. How do you feel about it? Should we put one poor over the other, or should it just be like, man, we riding for all poor people?
Yeah, I think that it should be like, yeah, we're riding for anybody that's poor, because the ideal of it is that the Mexicans are only selling the drugs because you have something called a cashless system or commerce. So if we all throw away commerce, that's why I said, like, a lot of people are probably like, I'm turning this off right now. I ain't listening to this, you know what I mean? Because once when people hear communism or they hear socialism, they get offended. But you have to understand that the Mexican is only selling the drugs because he has to make a better life for himself. So once when we throw away talents of gold and talents of silver, if you want something to eat, we trade crops, we just trade food. Now, if a man's refrigerator is broke, then you could do other types of labor or something like that, or you pay in other forms or something like that. But when it comes to food, I don't think that we should have to, do all this physical labor for food. When it says work, in my perspective, it tells us if we don't work, we don't eat. But what it means by that is if we don't go out in the field and pluck the corn, and we don't go and get the grains and do things we need to do with the earth to yield our food, we don't work the earth to get our food, we won't eat. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. So if you look at it from that perspective, like they saying, like I think America is like big time always trying to elevate things and escalate things because they want everything to feel as though it's a threat. They want anything to feel as though it's a threat when it hurts their pockets. The Mexicans coming here taking up jobs, that hurts them. That hurts poor whites that don't that can't get jobs or aren't capable of getting jobs, or some of them are in a heroin or opioid epidemic. You know what I mean? So you have a lot of different angles or a lot of different, like you said, aspects to look at this. I think that poor people in general, like I said before, poor people is anybody that don't have means to production, anybody that's forced to work, anybody that's forced to work. Once you're forced to work, you're poor. Once when you don't have nothing to eat, so the only way you can get something to eat is you have to be forced to work. Man, that's poor. But you have people, I don't want to get into a philosophical discussion, but you have people with farms and everything else that they need. And come on, you know what I mean? They can go in and get eggs and chicken all day. But you know what I mean? A poor person, they got to go and work to get it. Like, no, man, it shouldn't be like that. So like when they said letting people in the border, well, that's a hard conversation too. I mean, for a person like me, because I don't think that it should be no border. I don't think that nobody should own land. I don't think that you should privatize land. I don't think that the land belongs to nobody. And if we want to say the land belongs to somebody, we can get spiritual about it. We can say that the Indians belong to land belongs to the Indians. Excuse me. We could say that, but I don't want to get all, you know what I mean, into that conversation about it. But I don't think that Europe belongs to nobody. I don't think that Russia belongs to nobody. And I think that they created that division hierarchy there to keep you in this construct. Oh, they Russians over there, and it's the way they do business over there. And then it all becomes about business and trade. It all becomes about your customs and my customs and how we can trade customs. Not that you have different customs. Yo, man, I can come and have dinner with you. I can come and learn your language with you. that's regular life things. No, I got to come and do business with you. And I think that poor people, like when you look at it from our aspect, what we get from our writings is poor people are synonymous with humble people. So normally children are humble. Children don't know the difference. And my argument always is, okay, I know you have a lot of adult males, adult women that are physically capable of working. If you want to have an argument about, all right, well, we can't do communism, this and the third. Okay, all right, we can have that argument. But at least let's get rid of child hunger and world poverty. If we can't get rid of
I'm sorry to cut you off. It sound like that you're going into more of a situation where it's called like socialism.
yeah, exactly.
So that's what it is.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So and let me ask you something though. Do you believe that off of the thing that you're saying right now, do you think that the world will be able to run off of a socialism situation? And are we talking about a whole world, or are we talking about the United States? Do you believe? Because we already know. I'm asking you a loaded question because let's be serious here. We already know that the world is not going to turn off of capitalism. This is something that we want to see. You know what I mean? We want to see and the reason why, and I don't know what type of socialism guy you is, but the type of socialism guy I am, I'm the type of socialism where it's though I don't want a CEO of a company making 6 million while the general manager is making 50. You know what I mean? Like this is things that really happen in America every single day. You have people that don't even put no work in, just push a pin all day, making 60 million because they grandfather into that position. They ain't had to go to school for it. They ain't had to care about it. They ain't had to, that job was always suited for them. And we see this more and more all the day. And then we see the middle class people that is making the $75,000 or the $50,000. We see them trying to get closer to the position that they never gonna be in. But that's a story for another day. Within the construct of socialism, do you think that it actually work? Like, do you think that would actually be a serious thing where so we could take socialism and we can apply that to the way that we even do business with war, with trade? Because I know I got your opinion on what you think about war, but do you think that'll work?
I don't think that it will work right now because, like you said, it'll be so hard to turn the world off of capitalism. But I think that it's going to work. Now this is one way it could work while capitalism is still coexists with it. If like you take a group of people and they separate them or whatever, you put them on an island somewhere, like something science fiction almost. But I think it'll work in that construct. We can see how the people develop, like something like a Survivor to TV series, and see how people would survive in a world where or in a dwelling where they use socialism as their governmental construct. I think it'll work that way, but I think that how it's going to work, 'cause a lot of people say, "Oh man, it won't happen," but what people understand, like philosophically, we understand that it will happen because you gotta understand it's only so many cows that you can clone. You know what I mean? It's only so much oil you can take out the earth, and that's what they're not understanding. So what's going to happen is that as far as nature itself, nature is not going to let capitalism thrive forever. It's not designed like that. You know what I mean? Like we said, they even banned you from using plastic bags now because they're coming back up in the ocean. We was just talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We're starting to see more and more. We're starting to see more and more actual uh, global economical issues. So we starting to see like global famine all over the world, and this stuff is starting to get like because in certain places it's hard to have clean water. So we starting to see this happen all day. So we know that capitalism is not working good for the world. It's working good for us.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? For America. America is living off. This is why people want to come here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is why people
Yeah.
people are braving to come here. Sometimes sometimes a lot of African Americans, I try to tell this to African Americans, do we take this as an advantage of living in America, even though we understand that America there's some horrible things to us, but do we take a little bit of living in America with freedom of speech a little bit to be a disadvantage? Do we do that?
I think that we don't use our freedom of speech in the right way. I think we use our freedom of speech like in the wrong way. You see what I'm saying? I think that we take our freedom of speech and basically, instead of like saying, yo, man, let's organize. Now we take our freedom of speech and say, sorry for the word, but fuck you, bitch. We use our freedom of speech for that, you know what I mean? Or fuck the police. That's how we use our freedom instead of like
we don't stand up.
you instead of unify. You see what I'm saying? So I think that our freedom of speech is like kind of I think we take for granted this whole situation that we have. We here with technology, microwavable food, everything that you can think of. I think
Microwavable food.
you know what I mean?
Water coming out of our faucet. You know what I mean? Like just and I was looking at a place over in somewhere in the UK where kids live underneath the street. So like I was like, man, I complain about the foster care system here, and then I think about it. I'm like, yo, there's no foster care in this place because the foster care is underneath the streets. Kids actually live underneath the streets. It's amazing of some of the things that we starting to see more and more inside the United States and around the world. I feel as though the United States is ripping off of the world for the actual to achieve. You know what I mean? And the thing is that that's why Mexicans and South Africans and people African Americans from the UK, Africans from the UK want to get to America. I don't know if you ever do the research on the UK, the Africans in the UK. It's certain parts of the city the Africans in the UK cannot even walk. They can't even go in that part of the city. Well, because of crime. I mean, it's gangs of other, them white boys is not punks over there. It's gangs of white guys over there that will kill you, that will stab you. And then it's gangs of other African Americans over there that will kill you and that will stab you. So just to understand the what's going on around the world, and we're shielding our people from there. Do you believe that African Americans might be on a little side of like crybaby-ish a little bit? Because this is what the foreigners say about us.
I think African Americans are only crybaby because we don't unify. So yeah, it's our fault. Like we want them to do something for us, and we don't have to do anything at all. Like, I was listening to something with KRS-One, and he was like, we didn't lose our land, we lost our minds. So I don't think that we cry babies when we get ourselves together and we mobilize ourselves and we say, yo, we gonna do it. But as long as we're not doing that, they say, oh man, they shot somebody else, yo, the police shot somebody else. But yo, Tata them to shot somebody. And y'all telling everybody don't snitch. You know what I mean? Something is wrong there when you think about that. You know what I mean? So I think that we're crybabies when we look for them to do something to us, but we're not doing nothing for ourselves. But we're helping them while they're destroying us. We're helping them destroy us too. I think that's what I don't think that all of us are crybabies. I think a lot of us, a light turned on for us. But the problem for that, the ones that the light turned on for them, is that all of us that we got the light minds and we thinking alike and we are awakened, so-called, they would call it. We still not unifying. You see what I'm saying? We still saying, oh, well, this is what I think what a woman's body means. We still trying to be deep and trying to come up with our philosophies instead of seeing like what's our problems every day. Our problems every day is that we need food, we need shelter, and we need clothing. And who is at like the top? Who's the ringleader of controlling food, shelter, and clothing? It's the aristocracy, the ruling elite, the loaners, the bankers, the real estate agents. They're the ones controlling everything. You live in apartments. I never seen everybody I talk to. I'm a truck driver. I'm a common man. I'm a plain man. Our ancestors was goat herders, some people say. So we don't get into all that flashy stuff. Like we like flashy stuff, we like nice stuff, but we don't obsess over it, right? But I never seen so many people living with rent, no houses. Black folks living in rent and no housing. You know what I mean? You don't have no mortgage. Every person I talk to mostly lives in an apartment or is renting, and it's because the property taxes, everything, mortgage, the stuff is too high. But you mean to tell me it's everything has to be this expensive all because of the fact that I'm I'm poor and I can't, I don't have ambition or desire to make that much. So because I don't have ambition and desire to make that much, that makes me a bum. That makes me no good for society. That's something wrong with the way that we're looking at life. And I think all of that comes from money. And when we as we go further in the in the show, we're going to see that money really is nothing. Money is make believe. It doesn't really have no value. We gave it the value. So how stupid is it?
Explain that. Explain that. Explain that.
Oh well. Literally, if I wanted to say, if I hold these three fingers up, right, If I wanted to say this was 5, why couldn't I say it was 5? And I could still say that this is 5, and I could still put another 5, another 3 fingers up and say now I got 10 fingers. And you'll be like, no, man, that's 6. But if I just wanted to say it was 10, why couldn't I say it was 10? Think about that. If I wanted to say this was 10, why couldn't I say it? You say, oh, because math says this and math says that. But still, if I wanted to say that this wasn't 3, this was 5, why couldn't I say that? So what I'm saying is that we made up numerical value. We as human beings, as creation, we made up, and we said, oh, it makes sense. But everything that makes sense don't mean it is right. You see what I'm saying? It makes sense to cross at the green light when you know that's when pedestrians supposed to cross, right? It makes sense to do that. But if a car comes and hits you, just because it made sense that to cross at the green light, you see what I'm saying? You saying, oh, I followed the rules. I crossed at the green light. But it doesn't make sense that you cross at the green light, you still got hit by a car. So what I'm trying to say is that everything that makes sense and everything that seems like it's right, okay, it doesn't mean it is right. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. So when you think that, oh, 3 got to be 3. No, that don't really have to be 3. They gave us that construct. And when it comes to money, $5 don't have to mean $5. I don't really have to take $5 and make.
I'm happy that I'm sorry to cut you. I'm happy that you said when it comes to money because people are throwing it out of content. So you're definitely not saying that numbers don't mean nothing.
Exactly.
He's saying the numerical value of money don't mean nothing. Exactly because I you know we was reading the thing the other day and I dug up this article where it actually told you, yo, they was using bottle tops or was it bottles in South Africa for commerce of money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Seashells.
Seashells. Yeah. For money or whatever.
Money.
And it's funny how you can name anything money.
Exactly.
And because at this point in time, money don't have a strong background of gold with it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I get what you're saying. Was though we put too much value in money, and we're the poor people. I mean, rich people force this value on us with the money, and then they tell us, "Oh, there's no way that we can do this. Oh, it's no way we can have this. There's no way we can. There's no way we can make this fit. There's no way we can come up with this." But they're printing money every day like it's going out of style. When they need more money, they just go down and print it. And this is not something I'm making up. They actually go down and print more money when they need more money. You know, this is how we got inflated debt because nothing is backed by gold no more. This is just facts. So you cannot just say that, yo, they can go down and if they need $2 billion, they can go down and print $2 billion. You know what I mean? And this is what makes our inflation with China so big. Our inflation with Russia so bad. This is what really puts this thing on the cuff. So when I'm asking is like, in actual, since we on a money situation, in actual America, if we ever see the money go away and disappear, and there's no type of currency at all, how would you think that this world will look as in trading? As in trade, and I'm talking about the everyday life of food and everything. How would you think that this world will look? Do you think that could possibly happen? Because I'm actually excited to see the point where there's no more money. It's all trading with currency. It's all trading with value against value. You know, if you have a cell phone and you got a car, and I had a great book that you wanted, you'll give me the cell phone and the car for the great book that you wanted.
Exactly.
It's all value with value because how somebody explained it before. It's one of the truest things. A pack of cigarettes for a smoker will be more money than a pack of cigarettes that's not a smoker.
Exactly.
I don't know if you get because that's his habit. So if he was out in the street buying cigarettes and they was actually trading for those cigarettes, it will cost him more in trading because that's what he likes to do. It don't mean nothing to me because I don't smoke. You see what I'm saying? It has value to him. So certain people put value on certain things differently. So if because it actually means something. So if we was living in a world like that, how would you think that we'll benefit as African Americans, especially us, because we can't catch up to the white man. You know what I mean? Especially in America. The wealth gap is so amazing. I don't care what the unemployment rate is, Donald Trump. I don't care if your unemployment rate is great. Our wealth gap is not moving. It's just letting African Americans work 2 and 3 jobs more. You understand what I'm saying? And making us work way more in the course of a day than we ever work because he feel as though that yeah, you need to shut up and get back to work. You know what I mean? As a standpoint like this, and I know that you said you had to get out of here in an hour. We running on definitely late, but I'm gonna ask you a couple more questions real quick because I wanted just to.
Oh, I wanted to answer that when you said real quick. So yeah, so you were saying how do I think it would work? How do I think it would look as far as like we wasn't doing money? I mean, yo, like actually, I think that I couldn't even imagine it because I don't think no person has ever seen a world like that. It's always been empire and people have been fighting over, resources and land. So I don't think I could imagine it, but I can honestly say, just think about it. Poverty will be over. Hunger will be over. Global hunger will be over. Right? That'll definitely be over. Right? I couldn't imagine how will we get back to, if my drain is broke, how do I pay for fixing this? You may not want my lucky golf club, you know what I mean, to fix your drain, you know what I mean? So I don't know. So we have many thinkers for different types of things, right? So we can get into many because we can use idealism in that part, right? We can interject idealism. So we have many ways to look at how could we. Well, idealism is basically I don't know like the actual collegiate definition of it, but like the way somebody explained it to me is that a group of people or people getting together and just basically running society off of things that work, things that are plausible, things that don't cause inerrancy, things that don't cause a sewage backup. You know what I mean? You want to live in a society where it doesn't create dead ends because life should keep going. Life should go on in a way where as though it's not harmed or it's not, fringed upon, where it's not threatened with cancer and stuff like this. We only have all these type of diseases because of the society we lived in. And I mean, recycling. So I don't care nobody say. Somewhere along the line, I didn't drunk off somebody else's soda bottle that had AIDS. Somewhere along the line, they recycling soda bottles, Mystic bottles. That's what they do. They recycle. You didn't drunk off somebody's soda bottle or somebody that has herpes or something. You don't know. You know what I mean? But this is because we live in this life with mass production. You know what I mean? People, and we shouldn't live like that. Yo, man, you want to drink a water? You should be able to go get it out the lake, but you can't get it out the lake because you put all this your cruise ships didn't put waste in it. You know what I mean, your Walt Disney cruise ships. So what we have to do is we have to back off of like, I know a lot of people say, man, I can't imagine a world where we herding cattle and using animals but I'm not saying we have to do that, but I'm saying as far as technology, I think that we could go better with a green way, and I think we would go faster with a green way if everybody put down their differences of money and trying to be rich. I think science and technology would take off more than anything. So once science and technology take off, I think right then and there it would institute something for cash instead of plastic or whatever. I think once when we all put our differences aside, we all cultivate on science and technology, I think that cash and all that other stuff will go away. We will find something else how to trade money. Maybe like people can harness electricity on the spot. I don't know, but we can go into, like I said, idealism. We can go into ideals that don't hurt the planet, right? That don't hurt the living organisms in the planet. We can go into different ideals of how to base our society and how to have the best society where, at least there's no war, at least there's no child hunger or any hunger, and there's no poverty. You know what I mean? And the only way we can get that is if we equalize. You don't have to equal down or equal up. I was telling the guy that the other day. We just equalize when we all come to common ground. We got to reason together. If we can't reason together, then man, that's we savage. We truly are savage as the wild is in the Sahara, the Serengeti. We savage. If we all can't reason together, you know what I mean? That makes, and we supposed to be the most. Our minds is the one that built the computers. I didn't see a Komodo dragon or a scorpion build a computer. The human race did. You understand?
Let me ask you some quick questions before we get out of here, man. Some quick questions, and I'm just gonna ask you 2 seconds, real quick, and keep them flying, keep them going. What do you think, as a regular person, and you can just say yes or no? Do you care about the Mueller report?
No.
I got a lot of friends that actually tell me that they don't care about. Okay, so do you care about Russia putting ads to make African Americans be more Black power and be? Do you care about that?
I gotta say yes or no. This open ended.
Yeah.
Oh no, no, I don't care about that. And I hope I get a chance to explain later, but no, I don't care about that.
Go ahead.
The reason why I don't care about that because I think that it was always was going to happen from all the police brutality. That was always going to happen. So whether they put out stuff on the internet to make us get more Black power, I think when Big Mamas got tired of their sons and keep dying constantly in the street, that was always going to happen because black people are powerful. They don't control our minds. We got to stop thinking what we see on television is going to make us act upon. You know what I mean? No, we was always this is always meant to happen. Everything is on our side. We gonna make it. It's like Jada Kiss song said. We gonna make it. Everything is just meant to happen. Like I always say, it's cause and effect. So it's no coincidences. Right? Everything is made to happen. So that could have been a cause for some people, and if that was a cause to stir some people up, all praises. But most of us, we was always woke. You always had Farrakhan. And I mean, you always had Elijah Muhammad, all of them, you know what I mean? Or whoever, the great patriarchs, Marcus Garvey and everybody. Say again.
So all right. So as an African American, do you care about what Donald Trump is doing inside the White House? If it's not actually affecting your community, like food stamps and all that, I know you care about farmer SNAP bills and all that stuff because that actually affects your community. But like stuff like the world issues, like Russia, like Venezuela, like the border. Do you care about like because this is a big issue where though Donald Trump, they want Donald Trump impeached.
Yeah, no, I definitely care about that because, like, you know, like you said, I do care about when it affects our community. But the reason why I care about the world issues because I know whatever they do from the White House majority of the time, it causes poverty and it causes child hunger all around the world. The decisions that they make from that building, whatever that address is, I think 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, what it is, they make decisions from that place, that establishment. Which when they deal with Russia and these other places, that causes some children from some third world country to go in caves and get diamonds so they can, or coltan, like you told me, to make cell phones and mass produce things, which plunder and crush the people, man. You know what I mean? It makes us to wage slaves. And then we become almost militant and war type to kill each other over this merchandise that other people are already dying over. So I think that the reason why I think that I do care about what he does globally in the White House because it affects everybody, and I care about everybody that's on the planet. We're all human beings. We all come from the same beginning, the same ancestor. You understand?
Okay, all right. So listen, man, we're gonna get out of here, man. The time just got away from us, man. We're gonna get out of here. We're gonna have brother Brian back on the show, man, so we could talk about because I know you disagree with me with the abortion topic about where do life actually start at, and I know me and you actually had like a little conversation about that. But it's a fun conversation because I think people, especially your point of view, I said my point of view. You know what I mean? You know, they know my point of view. I think that your point of view was actually different and unique, and I'm gonna save that for the next show so y'all can come and join us and y'all can come and say what's up. I'm gonna let my brother Brian close it out, but yo, this is what I like to have conversations with regular people, yo, not these big scholars knowing about, you know, what time was the pyramids written on the wall at, and because do that really matter? No, it don't. That really don't matter because at the end of the day, niggas is still getting shot by the cops. Niggas is still getting shot by another black man. So when you telling black people to get together and we're gonna learn about pyramids, or we're gonna get together, we're gonna learn about the Bible, get together, we're gonna learn about this. If we not actually touching people on real life issues, then it don't matter. I'm gonna let you finish it off and end it off.
Oh no, I was just gonna say thank you for watching, y'all. And like I said, you can either agree with me or disagree with me. But no matter what, whatever I said that you didn't agree with, don't take that to heart. Try to find some common ground. That's what anybody that you listen to that have a lecture or somebody gives their opinion. Never take their opinion. Oh, I disagree with that, and I don't want to mess with that person no more. No, always try to find some common ground because it's somewhere y'all can build at. It's somewhere y'all can unify at because that's the key word, unity. As long as they keep us separated, oh, you that person over there, oh, because your last name is Tilson and mine is Jackson or mine is so and so, y'all individuals. And once when they do that to us, they got us, y'all. And that goes for all races. That's why a great philosopher said, all working people unite. All working men unite. That's all we have to do. And then the big bankers and the real estate agents, the guys that own everything, that means production, they done for.
Yo, man, that is some real shit, man. I'm saying that for a minute, man. This is IT news, and it don't stands for Isaiah Tilson, so don't even ask me. All right, y'all.